Hey, welcome back to Mr. Smith Garage. We're here in the garage. Got a few things going on, but this week is cool April nights up in Northern California. Got the engine for Lars in my background there, and then we got Lars back there still collecting spiders. Today we're going to do something a little different. We do need to clean up Mr. Porsche because he's a little dirty. So is Jill. Jill's really dirty. What I'm going to do with Jill today, we're going to take these big clod hoppers off of Jill. And we're going to put on those lowering springs, lower back down, take off the roof rack. Get this looking like a vehicle that might enter a car show. Not as a off-road vehicle, but as a fun little hot rod. So what I wanted to do is get an idea of how tall we are right now. We're at about 28 3/4 in the front. And my air pressure's down a little bit. And then in the back, we're right at about the same, 28 3/4. Let's look at the other side, just see if we're fairly even. Yeah, 20, almost 29 on this side. And then up front, we're at just about 29. So a little bit higher on the driver's side, but you know, when I sit in there, it gets a little bit lower. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pop these off, put on the lowering springs. We'll let you follow along for a little bit. Shouldn't take too long as our bolts aren't rusted. But I think all mine are pretty good. I think later on I'm going to have to put some shocks on Jill because I think that's the last time it was a little rough of a ride, and so I put it back up to standard height. But there we go. There's Jill. That's what's up for today, and hopefully some car shows this week. Thanks for following, those of you that are following along. I know I got an eclectic mix of things that we're putting out here on the YouTube channel, Mr. Smith Garage, but we do appreciate you, and hopefully you like the mix of stuff. So we'll see you shortly. Okay, so it's been a while since I've done this lowering the suspension, but I don't think it's too hard from what I remember. I got the roof rack off already. I did that. I didn't film it, but it's outside leaning on the fence. I think what we do, if I remember correctly, is I'll put the jack underneath kind of the lower A-arm. We'll pull these two bolts out on top here, and then we'll lower, and then I'll pull the shock. There's a spot here for the shock bolt. We'll pull that out. Not sure if I have to remove this lower torsion bar or not. And I think that will bring everything, and then we'll lower the shock, bring it down, pull that out. These don't have a whole lot of spring tension in them once you lower it down. And then I've got the lowered springs, and then we hook it right back up. Let's see if that's as easy as I think it is. There's the roof rack. Okay, there's the wheels, and the yellow springs are the springs we're going to put back on it. All right, we'll pull that stuff out and get it ready to go. Okay, so it's always good to do one side first before you go on film. The way you remember all the things that you needed to do and all the things that are there that have problems and whatever, and make sure you got all your right tools. I'm going to show you what we're going to do on this next one, and then we'll go through it without any sound. So you got a nut up here on top of the shock you have to undo. We got two Allens here that we'll undo, and we're going to put the shock or the jack underneath over there to let it happen. We're going to undo this torsion nut. We're going to undo this torsion nut. You may not have to do all that, but I did. Then we're going to take these three bolts off. There's actually three nuts underneath. And then you're just going to be real careful about your brake line. My brake lines are good. They're solid. But if you've got any cracks in your brake line, there's a lot of weight that ends up going onto this when it comes down. And then, you know, we let once you've got all those pieces off, the A-arm, the lower control arm will come. Oh, and then, sorry about that. See this nut in here. there's a bolt that goes through that shock absorber, and that needs to come off as well. Actually, it may not have to, because you could probably leave it in there. It just makes it easier to get the shock up on the top done. So then this all comes down. You can pull your spring out, put your spring back in, make sure it seats in the right spot, and then put it all back together. So that's what we're going to do next on the other side, on the driver's side, and hopefully we'll be done with this in a short time. backwards. It goes that way. But nonetheless, I am missing a piece now. Oops, that was supposed to make that loose, so I can get these guys in here. Oops. Let's see. No, don't. Okay, so that was 34 minutes. I don't know if you saw me have, I had a little slowdown there. I had this forward arm upside down, and I was trying to put this bushing in. You can see some of my bushings aren't doing too well. Even some, yeah, like this one here, that's completely done. But this is my daily driver, and it works, and there are some creaks and groans, but still working just fine. I didn't do any alignment at all on this. I'm using those wheels on it, and I just will do alignment some other day. But alignment bolts are up here. Also, this would bring your toe in. This would bring the out and in here. I'm going to show you once I get these wheels hooked up how close this upper control arm is to the rim. It's really close, but it's the rim. So as long as there's not a lot of movement with that bad bushing, then we should be fine. That's all gonna be pretty speedy. I didn't talk at all during that time. There's some stuff that went by. There's some kind of a I don't know if it's like a fire truck or a police car out here. Something's making noise every once in a while. Oh, it's Cash over there. He's got a fire truck. Cash is probably working on his fire truck for cool April nights, just like me working on this thing, huh? Time to pick up some wheels and put some wheels on this bad boy, huh? Here we go. Let's find the right. I told you I would show you this, so I figured I might as well show you. So see, my clearance there is pretty tight. I guess I got a half inch of clearance. Not too bad. So let's put it down, and then we'll see what our measurements are, and then we'll move on to the back. Time to measure the front. Let's see what we're at here. 26 and a quarter on the driver's side. 26 on the passenger side. So is that 2 3/4 inches? 2.5 inches, something like that. All right, we're gonna do the back. Back shouldn't take me as long. If I remember right, back's really quick, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, folks, so I literally did this one in minutes. A little bit of rust around my, but so here's the thing on those wheels. I already had these long studs on here. I put them on years ago, so those wheels need longer studs. But, you know, I had a little bit of trouble with the spring. It ended up coming out, and the new one's in, and voila, it's in there. So literally minutes. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna set up the camera. I didn't even take the wheel off on the other side, and we will go through that process on the other side and see how long it takes. I don't think it's gonna take very long, but here we go. I'm gonna take that off. And that's it. Literally. I mean, I can let this thing down now. We can put our new wheels on and drop it. See what kind of inches we get. All right, time to measure. Here we go. Let's see what we got in the back. 27. Not quite as low as the front. 27.25. All right, I haven't wired these tires up in a while. They look like they're okay though. So what we'll do is I'll go just drive around the neighborhood real quick, and when we come back, we'll see if it's settled in any. All right, here we go. Do a quick little jaunt around the neighborhood. Oh, yeah. Those joints all settled, huh? What's the best way to settle them? Drive it. Drive it around. Rock and roll. Hopefully we won't hit any big bumps that are going to break anything, which I don't think so. Once again, this is my daily driver, so we'll listen for any loud noises. Drive the neighborhood, see if it settles. Alright, so that was our quick little drive around the neighborhood. Once again, I think I need to air these tires up a little bit, but we'll try that in a minute. Okay, so after driving around the block, we're at about just under 26 on the driver's side. We'll go to the back. We'll do both the fronts. Just under 26 on the passenger side. Front. Just under 27 in the back. And just under 27 on the back driver's side. So perfect stance. An inch higher in the rear. There's our look at it. No roof rack, so we're gonna clean it up and get it ready for some show and shines. Pull it out and clean her up. Clean up the garage. Hey, thanks for watching Mr. Smith Garage. For those of you that are regular watchers, I appreciate you. And for those of you that maybe just stopped by, we work on Vanagons. I got Lars the Euro van. It's a 2002 Euro van. We got Jack the Vanagon. Both of the Vanagons are air-cooled. We love air-cooled Vanagons. I don't know, this Euro van, VR6, there's a whole series on the rebuild of that. It's a lot different than an air-cooled. So, and then we've got a little 944 Porsche. Nice little Porsche convertible. 944 1990. And then I also work on Sea-Doos, which I got to get those maybe this week. I'll go over there and pick them up. They're at my father-in-law's. I got one back here in the backyard. I'll show you. Here's the wheels we just took off of Jill. Those are going to go on Jack. But there's one of the Sea-Doos just getting ready. There's some extra parts. So you can kind of see we just work on whatever we can and hopefully get it all done. Last night I was working on a Nissan Xterra 2400cc. It was a 2000 and had a knock sensor going off and tore it apart. The knock sensor that I got was the wrong plug size, so I ended up just cleaning up the knock sensor that I had, putting it back on, and it actually cleared the code, and it's not going anymore. So we'll just work on whatever we want. Once again, thanks for joining Mr. Smith Garage. Hopefully you enjoyed this lowering of the Vanagon back to show style. Bye-bye.